By this time, San Diego had begun to draw attention from the rich and famous. Located on the beautiful island Coronado, off the coast of San Diego, is the historical Hotel del Coronado. Opened in February of 1888, the elegant hotel was a huge hit. Opened only to royalty, presidents, and celebrities, then later opened to the public. The hotel is so famous it has been featured in movies and books. When the hotel opened, 1,440 San Diegans traveled across the bay to see it. The popularity was established before the 1920s. It had already hosted President Harrison, McKinley, Taft, and Wilson. By the 1920s, it was all the Hollywood stars' go-to place, like Charlie Chaplin and Douglas Fairbanks. One of its grand ballrooms hosted Charles Lindbergh, who also flew his airplane above the Crown Room in preparation for his flight over the Atlantic Ocean. The hotel had a 4-diamond rating and had been rated among the top 10 resorts in the world, becoming very popular to the public in San Diego, bringing tourism and more people interested in the Del and San Diego's history. The Hotel del Coronado is one of the most luxurious hotels even today, bringing hundreds of tourists to San Diego.
Do you know when the Hotel Del was established?
No idea.
No idea.
At the turn of the century, around 1888, to create a resort down here in Southern California, the first resort of its kind and the only development on the island of Coronado. No, 1888.
I will tell you something kind of cool. We're actually staying in the room that Kate Morgan was staying in when she died. Well, she was someone that was murdered. I think it was 1888.
The city's notoriety eventually began to seem like an opportunity for successful business ventures among eager entrepreneurs. Located 25 miles north of downtown San Diego, on a Spanish grant, 5 business partners opened a winery in 1889. With the prohibition of the 1920s, business in the winery evaporated quickly. Shortly after, in 1927, Vincent Rizzo bought the winery from the partnership. Vincent brought more than 150,000 gallons of wine to Rancho Bernardo and the nation. Besides the grapes produced in the vineyards, the winery also sources grapes from other San Diego vineyards and across the country. Being a major supplier of the San Diego County, Ross Rizzo took after his father, and the winery is still family-owned today. Bernardo Winery was a major wine supplier of San Diego and all over the world.
The family that owns it, the Rizzo family, his grandfather came up here on a honey trip, saw the property, loved it, bought into it, and knew how to make it run. And they went to the Catholic Church during Prohibition and said, we can help make your sacramental wine. And they got a contract with the church. We also had tons of olive trees on the property. We still have a lot now, but we made all the cold press olive oil for the tuna industry in San Diego. So there's a lot of business here that got us through Depression, Prohibition, etc., etc. It's important to San Diego because we have fabulous grapes here. And sometimes you forget and you think, oh, let's go to Napa or Temecula or someplace where there may be a larger number of wineries. But the number of wineries doesn't necessarily dictate the caliber of the wine in that area. And so everyone here is really proud of the wine. It's quite a venue for events. We have 63 weddings coming up in the next couple of months. You saw the property and how beautiful it is. If you stick your head in the barrel room, we have beautiful dinners there. It's a little piece of Americana since it's 124 years old. People come here all the time and go, I didn't even know you were here. And it's just kind of tucked away. Don't you get that Knott's Berry Farm feeling when you get here? It's really nice. And I think the fact that people feel that when they come here, can sit out and have a glass of wine and enjoy the property, and they're supporting a winery in their community. And the San Diego Vintners Association is quite active and quite popular and makes a lot of nice wine.
As San Diego's popularity continued to rise, it became a common tourist destination. Alonzo Horton was born in 1813 in Union, Connecticut. Horton always possessed a gift for business, and when he was 21, he began transporting grain by boat from New York to Canada. When he was 38, he moved from the east to the west in search of gold, but instead made money by selling ice. He first heard of San Diego after listening to a speaker describe its climate, the harbor, and the never-ending space for stores, homes, and factories. When he moved out to San Diego, he bought the land of a settlement called Old Town and 860 acres surrounding it. He soon developed the first state park, Balboa, and created the gas lamp district. San Diego began to flourish and soon developed into the city we all know and love. Horton is responsible for almost all of San Diego's successes in historical preservation. His name is now honored in many street names, a hotel, a housing district, and the best mall in San Diego, the Horton Plaza.
You guys know who Horton Plaza is named after?
No idea.
We know who Horton here's and who. No.
I think it's named after Alonzo Horton.
Was he a builder or an industrialist or a businessman or something?
There you go.
Do you know his full name?
Frank.
Let's say Williams. I don't know, am I close?
You're close. It's Alonzo. So, yeah.
By the early 1920s, San Diego's reputation for tourism was well known. Belmont Park is a main attraction in San Diego. It is a small amusement park on the beach in Mission Bay. It has good attractions, but none are like the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper is a wooden roller coaster that has been the main attraction of the place since its opening in 1924. There are other attractions that have been added over the years, like the Wave. The Wave is a machine that makes an actual wave that you can ride on, but you'd better remember to have your swimsuit. The park was made so that the World Fair could come to San Diego and bring even more tourists to the already growing city. The World Fair never did come to San Diego, but we did get increased tourism because of this park. In fact, the park is so important to San Diego that the Big Dipper was put on the National Registry of Historic Places.
All I know that it was established in 1925. I've been here ever since.
Okay. How about this area, Mission Beach, Mission Bay?
Not too much about Mission Beach. I know as far as Belmont Park, they're continuing to establish it and grow it up, make it bigger. But as far as the beach area, no, I'm not too sure.
Okay. How about the Wave House?
Wave House has been here, I want to say, about close to 20 years. We just got a new ownership back in November. We're kind of doing a whole remodeling thing, going for a different kind of atmosphere, more family-oriented, more tourist attractions and stuff.
Okay.
Since San Diego was becoming so popular, it opened up several opportunities to have museums established in the city. One of the most famous aircraft carriers in the last century is the USS Midway. The USS Midway had a long and great history. It started when it was first built in 1945 at the end of World War II. It served only a couple of months in that war, however it did fight in many other wars including Vietnam and Korean Wars. It survived both of these wars and the ship also participated in Desert Storm. Though it is amazing that the ship survived through many battles, that is still not the most interesting thing about this ship. The most intriguing thing about this ship is that it had 3 different flight decks. When it first came out, it had a rectangular-shaped flight deck, which was like an aircraft carrier of the same time period. Its first flight deck overhaul was built before the Vietnam War. Its second and final one was built before Operation Desert Storm.
The Midway is the longest-serving carrier in U.S. Navy history. It was commissioned in September 1945, and it was decommissioned in April of 1992, right across the bay there. Then it was towed up to Bremerton, Washington, put into mothball storage. And at that time, in 1992, we started working to get this ship from the Navy donation program. It took us 12 years of bureaucracy and red tape until everything was cleared up, and then we were allowed to tow it back down here and make it into a museum. So that was January of 2004, and we opened up to the public for the first time in June of 2004. And it's the only supercarrier open to the public. And the first year we opened up, we became the most visited Navy ship museum in the world. San Diego, of course, is a major Navy town, the largest Navy base on the West Coast. And it turns out that San Diego is the birthplace of Navy aviation. The very very first time an aircraft was shipped right out here in San Diego Bay in 1911. And that was a demonstration. That convinced the U.S. Navy to make their very first purchase of production aircraft. And the first 4 aircraft carriers that were ever built for the Navy were headquartered right here in San Diego. So there's really no town stronger in Navy aviation than San Diego.
Awesome.
And to this day, you can see 2 nuclear carriers over there. Those are active carriers. We have the North Island Naval Air Station here. So San Diego is a very big town as far as Navy aviation is concerned.
As you can see, San Diego went through many stages. It went from just a small settlement in the west to a major tourist attraction where people from all over come to see. From the mission San Diego de Alcalá to a major metro area, and from Indian settlements to skyscrapers, San Diego grew. We went through many major U.S. historical events like the Indian Removal Act, the Spanish-American War, and 3 Pacific Wars, which included World War II, the Vietnam War, and the Korean War. San Diego is a great city with an even greater history and a bright future. However, what separates our city from others is the people who live here. This little city on the border of the United States and Mexico has a can-do attitude which separates us from any other city in the United States of America.